Hey everybody, welcome to VFX and Chill this week. Hashi, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, Seth. Welcome everybody to VFX and Chill, the show where we do kind of whatever we want in the VFX realm.
Speaking of doing whatever we want in the VFX realm, oh, by the way, I'm Seth. That's Hashi. And also with us is our pal Michael. Hey, Michael. We don't need to talk about Michael, so we're going to go right back to me and Hashi. Here's the deal.
That way.
I'm moving fast because we have a whole lot to do today. We do. Big plans, but before we get to the big plans, let's talk about, you have some follow-up, Hashi, from last week.
Yes. Last week was the last Friday of the month, which means it's our VFX Royale episode where we have two random fictional characters fight each other. And I felt really disappointed because I took on a challenge that I was unable to fulfill during the allotted time. So I did what anyone would do, which was become intensely obsessed with the premise and forsook all other worldly obligations to make a trailer that I would love to share with everybody.
All right, here we go. Nope, that's not it. Here we go.
And apologies in advance. Caveat: not for children. Oh, featuring and starring some of our favorite childhood classics. But there's a warning banner, and I would request you respect the warning banner.
No children. Hey, speaking of warning, do you want us on? Do you want to see us, Hashi, while we watch? Do you want our reaction?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do that.
Here we go.
Swear it. The most excellent promise you can make. Can't tell. Not even Mom.
There's 3 rules you've got to follow. Keep him out of the light. He hates bright light, especially sunlight. It'll kill him. And keep him away from water. Don't get him wet. But the most important rule, the rule you can never forget, no matter how much he cries, no matter how much he begs,
this works.
Never feed him after midnight.
Hey, wait a second.
Wow.
Oh
no. There's only one thing left to do.
We need to call him now.
Good sweet God. Our logo is on that. It's ours forever. I want to apologize and say you're welcome to every one of our viewers out there. That was thrilling.
The views expressed in this trailer.
Hashi, that was more work than you've ever done in your life.
Ever. And I have an ongoing Red Giant / Maxon short that I'm supposed to be working on right now with fewer visual effect shots than this.
This is what procrastination and neglect look like.
Yes. So I am not responsible for the content of this. This is viewer and co-hosts' suggestions who wanted a violent Mogwai end. And
yeah, you gave me what I wanted. I didn't think you were going to give me what I wanted, Hosh. So a little surprise here is I made something I planned as a reaction video to your video. Because this is, by the way, the first time I'm seeing this. And turns out mine's not really needed because we kind of reached the same end. But here, let's just, why not? Just for the record, we'll go ahead and watch it.
I'm Ting, dear Ting.
Ouch.
oh. Oh.
So, I mean, we reached the same conclusions, essentially.
We did.
Yours...
Now...
Wow.
Yeah, I did have intentions to add an extra scene of Gizmo appearing as a Force ghost to just explore the additional possibilities of this expanded universe.
Wow. So you're telling me that there actually were things left on the cutting room floor from your video?
Yes, had to keep it at a tight 115, and
Tight 115.
Absolutely. So, very special thanks to our viewers, especially Ryan Polly for suggesting Gremlins versus ET or Gizmo versus ET, something like that. Jason Murphy for the suggestion of the Mohawk. I had to learn how to do hair dynamics for a Mohawk, but I learned something, and so that's the fun of having y'all on board for suggestions and stuff like that.
There was
so fun when
educational value.
dive into the show.
Speaking
really
of Jason
funny.
Murphy, he has asked, how did you get the voice for the Gremlins instructions in that video?
I had forgotten about this, but I looked up all of the Gremlins trailers, and one of them had that kid's voice saying that stuff, and I didn't remember that. And then, so I went and like rented the movie on streaming or whatever, and started it, and I realized that it's at the very beginning of the movie when the dad is in that shop. He wants to buy the Mogwai, but the old man turns him down. But the kid in the shop runs out and is like, no, here, just give me the money for it. You can have it. And these are the rules. So that kid is from that movie. And I had forgotten that a kid ever said those lines, but it worked brilliantly.
Yes. And that was just one of many things that were actually already in the film that you didn't have to do any work for. About 85% of the imagery there, right, is from Gremlins. People just haven't watched it in a while.
Yes, exactly.
Well, now that we've done that to people, now that that's happened to all of you,
you're welcome, and I'm sorry.
and that's the tagline for VFX and Chill. You're welcome, and we're sorry. Let's talk about this week. What are we doing? I don't know how we follow that.
Well, we were really excited that Jurassic World was coming out. I think, we are both at least, original Jurassic Park fans.
That's a good way to put it.
And this trailer is pretty exciting because it feels like it's bringing these two worlds together. The 90s, late 90s kind of Jurassic Park era and the newfangled Jurassic World. So
yeah, it's just a shame though that they were only able to shoot this scene with this iconic shot with the three of them in a Kroger parking lot the night before the trailer went online. That's the only, I think shortfall of the trailer itself. But everything else looks great.
Everything else does look great. So some wild stuff in this exciting Jurassic trailer.
Here.
That's a fun. You see, I feel like a lot of people noticed online that this scene
looks familiar.
More like, it feels like I've seen a similar action beat before. And wait a second,
that's where. Where is he? Where is he jumping off that building?
When is he not jumping off buildings?
But we gotta see the ankle. The ankle break. Hang on, it comes right here-ish.
And oh my God!
Here we go.
Falling, jumping.
There it is.
All right,
Boom.
this everybody. Here we go. Boom. There's your ankle right there.
Oof. Not supposed to do that.
Let's
I don't
just
think.
see it one more time. Here we go. And boom.
Oh, it looks like a
bad puppet pin job.
It really does.
It does.
Like anytime there's a sports injury or something captured like this, I just I remember why I never leave this chair.
Seriously.
Oh, man.
So Seth, I think that
yeah. So, well, okay, here, I'll set you up because I had an idea, but you had a better idea. My idea was to just put raptors in everything because, that's essentially what this trailer is doing is like, oh, hey, remember that scene from Mission Impossible you loved? We put raptors in it. Hey, remember that scene from the you loved? It's like they just took all their plate photography from all of the Universal films and every other film and just put dinosaurs into them. And then you had a better interpretation of what I was pitching.
Well, yeah, I have figured that what you were pitching was that we replace Ethan Hunt from all of these scenes, the Tom Cruise, with a velociraptor throughout the entirety of the film is what I wanted to do.
So it's just one velociraptor being placed into this film, and it's in place of the star himself. Which
that sounds like a fun VFX challenge because it's actually similar to something that people do where you film with a real performer, in this case, Tom Cruise, who can bring, any character to life, whether, they are, a Mission Impossible hero or someone who's famously described as very tall in all of the books, or anyone who was, a resurrected dinosaur from Jurassic Park. Yeah, I mean, rebuilding a dinosaur from.
We're digging at everything.
Components.
We're even throwing shots at Jack Reacher today. We're coming in so hot on this episode. We're finding a way. But you're right. Who better to play a prehistoric extinct species of a dinosaur? This is not coming out the way I meant it. Who better to play an animal? Never mind. Let's just go with this idea. Here's what we've done. I went through and I painted out Tom Cruise in as many shots as I could from the trailer. Well, let me actually go back real quick. I went and found. I took the trailer and I cut our own version of it, and I made us this little guide of what I think we could replace. And it almost all just says Ethan as Raptor. And
this is a fantastic note, and also. Well, first of all, Ethan as Raptor, great visual effect or producer note, always. But what I love is this is our pre-production planning. I really like it. I think where I fell short last week was not enough planning in what I was doing, so I got completely flustered and lost. But here we actually have a blueprint of exactly what we are after. Raptor versus, roughly exactly what we were after.
Yeah.
And
I was just thinking that shot in Jurassic World where the Indominus is like, blah, 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 could happen right here. We could combine them if we wanted. If not, we'll just pull the Stu's tunnel shot from the first one and have a raptor jumping off of an exploding helicopter.
Exactly. Well, could we talk a little bit about what we're going to learn today? Because
great idea.
I know we're goofing a lot with replacing a human with a velociraptor, but there are some really important visual effect things. Stuff we might learn here.
Question mark.
So, exactly. So I believe that we will learn some color matching. That's a given. We're going to do some motion tracking. And actually, even before all this, I will say that we're basically doing a pipeline for replacing a human performer with a digital or animated character. And that's a difficult thing to do. It requires all of these steps. The one that's missing there is the roto work that you've already done on these, erasing the original performer.
Well, I haven't done any roto work on the Raptor. I've just done the cleanup of the Cruise on half of the shots. So, I'm not sure what all we'll get to today because I haven't even gotten to finish cleaning. But, yeah, sorry. Continue.
But beautiful. Yeah. So we've got color matching. We'll do some motion tracking. Velociraptors. We'll work in After Effects. I have a nifty trick to show everyone with Element that I just learned during this making this ET Gremlins thing that I want to share. And then, additional Velociraptors. That's what we got.
That's what every tutorial needs. I just want to walk through a couple of the elements that I pulled for us. Like, not only did I paint out Tom, but there's a couple of these shots where, let me see.
You're just pressing the Erase Tom Cruise button from the latest After Effects.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
In the top.
So, from this, let's find this shot in the trailer and I'll show you kind of what I did. I've got this great shot of them talking to each other like, hey, don't fall in love with me. Here's some trees. And so I got the clean plate. I've also got Rebecca Ferguson's shoulder, like foreground for her.
My gosh, so nice.
Then I also, for all these shots, I have an optional suit layer that enables us, if we want to simply replace Tom's head and have the raptor be wearing a suit.
Raptor wearing a suit, right.
I think
business raptor.
Yes, business raptor. Rated R. So why don't we just jump into After Effects and figure out what the H we're doing?
That sounds great. So mission plates, is that the folder I can pull all these in from?
Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. All right. I'm going to pull in all of these plates that you made, which is, it's lovely. And Yeah, you can't. I can't stress how amazing the organization is that went into this, because you've got
Well, we all know.
shot, the suit, the layers for them. I love it.
Well, and as we all know, doing extensive, as you and I both know, Hashi, doing extensive planning for post-production definitely ensures the post-production will be finished in a timely manner and will not go on endlessly.
That's a novel thought. I will write that down, but I don't have a pen. I will say one thing that I found when I knew we were going to do this episode was I looked up this character, the Velociraptor, on Sketchfab, and I checked the old downloadable and animated buttons, and let's see, Raptor, and found this amazing work by Blue Mesh, which is available for y'all right now if you'd like on Sketchfab. It's completely free, modeled by this guy, and free for any of your projects. So
Wow.
I have gone ahead and imported that. So here in After Effects, I have a kind of ready to go, ready to light Velociraptor head that, say, for example, let's see, where's that shot? Is it 11? Let me see. Let's.
This one. So you've got 4 is this one right here on the beach. If you want,
Ooh.
11 is the one that's. 11 is the one we were talking about. The hey, we're with some trees. Love you.
All right. I like the idea of that shot 4 one. So just for example, I would just drag in these little bits here. Let's Control Alt B. Trim this to the timeline here. And what do I want to say? Trim comp to work area. Why not? All right. So we've got the what do we have? Why is it black, Seth?
What
Maybe I've done something weird.
view are you on? Are you on active camera?
Am I?
Yeah, you need to switch to active
dang
view.
it. Yeah. All right.
Pro tip in After Effects, if you change to one of the custom 3D views, it hides all the 2D content.
No. All right. So we've got the plate, we've got the foreground shoulder, and we've got the suit. So in theory, if I were naming this properly, I would just be able to say element and drag it up here under the suit. Look, it's done. Everyone, thank you. I'll see you next week. This has been
No, I think you need to.
This is absolutely everything I wanted today to be.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This is also everything I wanted Mission Impossible to be.
It is. I mean, what's more impossible than this?
Than true love for a Velociraptor.
Let's see. And what's great about this animation is I can just grab the frame offset, and I think there's a moment where he kind of looks a little bit like it's talking.
yeah. Yes.
Wait, is blue? They're all females, so she. But Ethan's. I'm gonna.
Well, I know we're gonna
be
just
all over the place.
Yeah, we're throwing gender out the window here for the sake of comedy today.
Oh, I love it. Let's
Now,
see.
Like
in the
Monty
trailer,
Python.
I will say, in the trailer that I've kind of cut, he's not talking. There's actually a voiceover, I think, happening underneath it, an ominous voiceover. So you want to keep him kind of staring, starry-eyed
Yes.
at Julia.
Love the VO.
Julia.
Name's Deckard. Blade Runner.
Now,
Chaser of robots.
Seth, we have a removal techniques with 2 question marks in the chat, and VFX tutorial guide is asking, how did you remove Tom Cruise?
Oh, great question. I'll remove him in one of these shots. In fact,
Just took off his platform shoes and he was out of view of the camera.
I was wanting to do. I'll do this one.
We need a button for easy joke and
Yes,
dead
we do.
horse.
Do I have buttons for?
Yeah, so that wasn't a dad joke. That was just a word Tom Cruise is short, ha 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 joke.
We'll do. We'll find a lost EJ Hassenfrost tutorial to
Oh, that's sad.
do some soft body dynamics on a horse that just falls to the bottom of the screen, and then we just beat it
I
relentlessly.
want a moment of silence for
different
EJ's
objects.
moment of silence for EJ's Vimeo account, please, and all of his tutorials.
Oh, they have been replaced, but holy cow, that was a scary few moments.
With exact lookalikes.
Vimeo's like, these are definitely your same tutorials you can have back.
Just other tutorials with mustaches on them.
And googly eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna.
All right. So how would you even go about? Where do you start?
First off, because I'm doing content aware fill, I don't want content aware fill to see any of the letterboxing and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and I cropped the comp to just be the frame. I'm going to pre-comp that. And now that is the plate that I'm going to be working with in content aware fill. A couple things I'm going to want ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead and just, I'll call this plate just for all intents and purposes. I'll call this suit. This is where I'm going to pull Tom's suit. And then this one is going to be the mask layer. I'm going to turn off the mask layer for now. The suit, I'm going to go in and roto brush. I'm just going to do this first, knock this out. And I'm going to keep his human hands. I think it's important that his human hands remain. And then make sure we're all good. Oh, hands and gun are missing. So let's modify that.
Over here, I'm just playing with the position of some of the lights over here in After Effects just to get broadly the same kind of lighting going on. It looks like there's some more light from this direction here and a little bit shadowed on that side, but there's a little bit of extra light coming from that side there too. So I want to figure out the right amount.
So Hashi, while you're working on this shot with a Velociraptor talking with her, Red Plaid Films really wants you to make him say, Alan.
Alan.
There's a cut of that on YouTube that goes for 30 minutes, and I recommend everyone listen to it in its entirety. Real quick, I've rotoed this. Now I'm going to freeze this. Freeze. And now I have, if I isolate that layer, you'll see it's just headless Tom Cruise.
Even that muzzle flash, I love it.
Yeah, I kept it just for whatever. I'm probably going to end up, I can just mask the background right here, but I'm going to go ahead and do a paint out now.
That's true. And, if you wanted to, do the opposite of what Seth is doing right now, you could always use our amazing red giant tool, Bang, to add your own muzzle flash to any situation just as quickly as I did right now. Here we are. Look, it's done.
Yep.
I've angled it. We've got a perfect Velociraptor fire.
The perfect Velociraptor fire.
Bang is just so much fun to play with. Like, some plugins are useful and powerful, but take some time to mess with. But Bang is just fun immediately.
And you can use it to make E.T.'s finger annihilate a gizmo if you want, or just anything. That might come up in your day.
If you want that sort of thing.
Might come up in your day. Just drawing a rough garbage man around Tommy here to paint him out to get
Thomas Cruise Smith the third.
Yes. I believe what is it actually? It's Thomas Cruise. His last name is something.
Velociraptor.
That's what it is.
The name itself means bird. Speedy bird.
The name itself means Tom Cruise. Subtract. Turn off this plate under here. And now I should have goodbye, Tom. Goodbye, Tommy. We're going to now... but I'm going to go to content aware fill. But before I do just any damn thing, I'm going to turn this plate back on. And so I see everything. And I'm going to click Create Reference Frame. And that is going to open up Adobe Photoshop.
Photoshop?
which I'm going to now make smaller so you can see it. And I am going to draw a little crummy little garbage mat around him.
Thomas Cruise Control, Tomothy Cruise are all suggestions from the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Suggestions for what his real name is? I think the information's publicly out there. We don't need to speculate wildly. There's
no way to know.
That said, Tomothy Cruise Control, I think, is the winner. Oh God. And
also, feel free to throw in suggestions for the title of this episode. I think right now it is Jurassic Worlds Colliding.
Also,
but,
guess what?
Many things that it could be.
Guess who just got access to Maxon's merch printing service and can now start making T-shirts and hats and all kinds of things based on stupid inside jokes we have on the show. So,
oh my goodness!
If you hear a good T-shirt idea, please throw it out in the chat. Ping it. Put a pin in that. Okay, Photoshop, real quick. Back to learning. Edit content to where fill, and it's going to do what content to where fill does in After Effects, but you have some more kind of pro controls here. So give it a second while it figures it out. My computer is doing a lot of things apparently. Oh, the preview's over here. Stand by. That's weird how it's displaying this. So it did a rough paint out. It really replicated that crazy. And then over here you have these controls that you can just start clicking things until something breaks. I'll try mirror first, scale. There's also color adaptation that does some nice work. And what this is doing is making a reference frame for After Effects, because Photoshop tends to get it, do a slightly better, this is the worst example to say that on, but it tends to do a slightly better job in painting out, here we go, painting out some stuff. And then it takes the information from this reference frame and will apply it. It'll use that to help paint out the rest of the frames in the shot, which is really helpful. Nice. This is good enough for me for now.
That looks great. So I'm gonna to be rude, I'll summarize what you did.
Thank God.
Which is, we roto-brushed Tom Cruise from this plate because he's what we need to remove. And once we had that shape, we can use it to punch a hole through the footage. And when there's an alpha hole, that's what content-aware fill uses as its guide for what it can fill in. But if you go off of nothing, it has to guess. And Photoshop's content-aware fill is slightly better for stills and bringing in more detail and thinking a little bit faster than After Effects on the fly. So Seth threw his empty hole frame into
Actually,
Photoshop.
not the empty hole. I brought it without the hole in, so I could do a little bit more fine-tuning around. I can draw a closer mask around Tom, in Photoshop, that gets me a little more information to work from. And then we come back into, Daniel took a snapshot in Skype, inexplicably.
What did I do? What's the shortcut for a snapshot? Because I'm going to start doing this again.
It's whatever you just did. But so you save it and you come back into Photoshop and boom, it's there because the reference frame that you made, it made it for one frame right there. And it can now use that information. And I can just, leaving that punched out hole, but with this one reference frame here, I can now run content-aware fill by clicking generate fill layer. And it will fill in any transparency in the image. In the comp. So it analyzes it and then it renders it, and now please work nicely, because if it doesn't, I don't want to have to fix it and do a good one, longer one.
We should get content-aware Phil on the show. He's a good friend and
very good friend. So there we go. Right, that's good enough for me. I mean, there's a little bit of a muzzle flash there left, but I'm going to keep the muzzle flash in the shot. So this actually works rather nicely. So if I drop the suit back on by bringing it up here, there we go. And I think I can even take this clean plate I have, drop it up here above the fill layer, and then just do a rough mask here to where I'm just seeing the bottom half. And so I don't have any of the weird edges around the muzzle flash. And that is how You get rid of a pesky Tomothy Speed 2 cruise control.
Stephen
Beautiful.
from chat has decided to eschew jokes and tell us that his real name is Thomas Cruise Mappa the Fourth.
100% true.
100% true, even though it sounds fake. And Vern Fields says, if you haven't seen the 2017 film Velocipaster, please do yourself a favor and just watch the trailer. You'll thank me later.
Trailer's great.
Yes,
Movie is.
You should definitely watch the trailer for Velocipaster because it is as amazing as you might hope it is.
The trailer is. The movie, not so much. Movie is a bit of a drag, but the trailer is fantastic.
I think I am only familiar with how did this get made?
Yeah, but it's one of those movies that was like it knows what it's doing and it's trying to be a big, cornball bad movie. And those aren't as fun as the ones that are like legit.
Oh
trying.
no, never as fun.
Yeah.
So I'm over here. This is really straightforward since we.
Actually, I see what you're doing on the other part of your screen.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be lovely. Don't worry. So I've grabbed these 4 layers. Let me show you what I have. I have the plate that you made for us, Seth, the element layer with the Velociraptor, and then the suit goes over him, and then the shoulder goes over that. And I've brought them into Super Comp. And one of the reasons I love Super Comp is because it blends things so much better than I can with a lot of steps involved. So one of the really cool tools in it is that if you have an object in your scene and you want to kind of match some of the levels, you can go to this plus button, click on color correction, and there is this match background button, which is wonderful. However, Seth, you've painted out the raptor here, and so I know what's behind this raptor, and it's going to just be this clean background. Oops, let me turn the Super Comp back on. So it's just that. So it's using, if I press this match background button, it's going to be using this background color, assuming it's trying to match it with the fog back there. So it thinks it's in the background. But look at this handy trick. Instead of doing that, I'm going to quickly shuffle it up here to the foreground, and I'm actually going to just physically drag this raptor down kind of in front of the suit area in general, like that. And then I'm going to do that color correction trick again. And now I'm going to say match background. And did you see that?
I did.
Wherever
I did see
subtle. Let me turn it on and off. Subtle, but look at this. Now it knows that the black values can match what's here on the suit because he's down here. And you can sort of split the difference. You can kind of try to move it around and click this match background button. You can even keyframe the values of the black point and white point. I can't remember, does it set a gray point key? I don't remember. But you can set keys for these and
you key black and white. It doesn't set a gray point key.
There we go. So yeah, you can key this throughout, but I've just got the static thing right here. So now that I have the color that I want, where it's a little bit influenced by that up here, but also match the levels of the suit, let me just fit that back to where it was, and I'll rearrange these Super Comp layers again. And now we'll just add a few more things, like maybe some edge blending for that edge is a little bit too harsh.
Roger, your question, since you're keeping the whole body, why roto it out instead of just the head? Because I want the alpha of the body to be able to put in front of the raptor. So like what Hashi's doing, he's just placing the raptor with a little bit of neck bleed down there behind the suit layer, and it makes it a much easier comp. And I'm getting, also, it just helps me get a clean plate with content aware fill. If I'm just painting out his head, it's going to be pulling visual information from his body to try and fill in that space, and I want it to only pull information from the background. So that answers your question.
Excellent. I'm going to turn up the number of samples so I get a slightly better render here. And I'm also going to do a little bit of fine work on this one. Why not? On my element layer, I'm going to add, this the easiest way to do it is just add some liquify. And I'm just going to move Ethan's neck out to match the collar here. Just like that. little bit like this. And then I will go ahead and click a keyframe on the distortion mesh right there. Oh, it looks like I did it right here in the middle. So I'll move forward a little bit. That seems like that works pretty well. And now backward a little bit. Yeah, as he turns, I kind of want to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on the neck line here. And because I have the distortion mesh keyframes enabled, it'll keep all of these. So I can have him like pixel perfect right to the edge of this collar. This is so ridiculous, Seth.
Speaking of pixel perfect, if you look at Tom Cruise's neck like real close, you'll see that it's not a very sharp line between the black of his suit jacket and the white of his shirt. Like if you zoom in real close there, it's not sharp, whereas the Velociraptor is pretty sharp. So we're going to need to come up with some way to
it's like diffuse the pixels on him?
Yeah, he's going to need to be diffused, maybe slightly blurred.
All right, I'm going to turn down the bump value on my texture too. It's coming across as a little bit harsh. That seems okay. So yeah, let me see if there are a couple of ways. Let me see what would happen if I just did a little bit of diffusion in here inside Super Comp. That's going to be a little bit more of a glowy blur, but it does make it so. Let me turn it on and off. Just for exaggeration purposes, you can kind of see.
That does improve it, yes.
A little bit of a
I think
blur.
like half a pixel fast blur wouldn't hurt either.
That's a very good trick for any CG element always. So I'm actually going to try. Let me see if the old edge blur works.
Actually, there's edge blur in Super Comp. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's true. I'm so used to the individual components. Did I not do it? Oh, whoops. Oh, there we go. All right, so edge blend. And yeah, I'll do what you said there, Michael. The fast box blur. Let me see. 1 pixel, maybe 0.5 pixels. Oh, and another cool trick that I hadn't seen before. I don't remember where I learned this. This is unrelated to a Raptor shot, but if you have an adjustment layer up top, and then you add like a fast box blur, like just a little bit like that, yeah, and then you sharpen it.
Sharon,
and then dial that up. Now you have a low-key VHS look.
My After Effects is doing this weird thing where this is a weird analogy, but I want to make it because I never get to. The game Portal 2, there's a moment toward the beginning where Stephen Merchant's character Wheatley, the robot, needs to do some mechanical thing, and clearly they didn't either want to animate it or know how to animate it, or they had to switch models or something. And so they wrote it into the story where he's like, I can't do it while you're looking at me, so please turn around. And until you turn around, Wheatley will not perform the task. And the second you turn around and he's out of view, it's like, boop, it's done. And it's played as a joke. After Effects is doing that to me, to where I draw a roto, like a brush stroke, and it gives me no visual response, nothing changes. But if I switch workspaces and back again, suddenly it's there and it's painted and done. Like it will only, I don't know what's going on, some image cache thing or something. Has anyone else run into this thing before?
I don't feel like I've quite seen that. Depending on how long the shot is, can sometimes run into rotobrush trouble.
No,
but
man, this is
not
like
for something this quick.
Yeah, it really makes no sense. Okay, it's working better than it was now. It's still slow. Oh well, I don't know. I'm gonna roto that muzzle flash because I've got no dignity.
I am going to add some keyframed liquefy to the suit as well, which I think should be funny because I'm going to find this point where the raptor starts to turn, and you see how there's that kind of crease and the raptor's neck that kind of lines up with almost the middle point. At this point, the suit's faced forward, so I was thinking that maybe as it moves like this a little bit, I could do just a teeny bit of warping on the suit using a really wide brush here. Make it a little tighter for right here. And this may not be quite enough, but what I'm hoping it does is it gives us a bit of marrying of the body and the raptor head, as it were.
We are definitely not going to get through this whole trailer today.
Well, I'm gonna do less work on the other shots here.
I'm spending time on this shot cleaning this up because I really just want to see the raptor shoot a gun.
I love that. Okay, what do we think, everyone? I think that we're done over here. Seth, I'm going to render that out.
Do it.
That looks excellent.
I'm going to freeze this roto brush now.
Freeze.
What the? There it is. Sorry.
There it is.
Right. I'm going to say
Murphy says that they've had a similar thing where they pretty much had to click on a Chrome window and back to get it to refresh.
Yeah, Jason, what the H is going on here?
Do you also have an M1 Mac, Jason?
You said that
If
so
so-
snootily, Michael. Do you
All right,
also
Seth,
have an M1 Mac, Jason?
I did not intend for that to be snooty. I was just trying to think what the similarities between your systems might be.
Seth, what do you want the naming convention to be if I throw this into renders? Like _comp _VFX?
Oh, just give me the, I don't care. Just put it in
Like you don't.
whatever you
care.
want, as long as it's numbered. I care, but I actually don't feel like making it up right now, so you
I
caught me at a
remember
good time.
at one point I saw a folder that Seth had prepared, and I forgot that when you export stills from Premiere, it adds a lot of metadata to the file name. And so I think it was the first time I'd seen a large number of files from you, Seth, and they had the most ridiculously long, like names with a comp number and date, and then a version or something like that.
Yep, that's
You're
how
like, oh, sorry, that's the auto naming on Premiere stills. All right, shot 4. Let's see. Let's look through a few of these other plates.
I'm going to use this roto that I just did. No, never mind. Keep going. You keep talking.
All right. Let me remind myself by bringing in the that cool. Where did you store that Where did I store that trailer?
Oh, which one? The mission trailer?
Plan yellow.
If it's the yellow one, it's the yellow
V2.
V2.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I should put this in. I'm going to put this up here. I have this little like preset project that has all of these nice folders like output, comps, footage, elements, stock. But I never end up moving anything into output because I always think I'll wait until I'm all the way done and I know that's the final version, but that means that I don't see the project again.
Just
So
say the final.
Final _final.
Yeah.
True story. When I had to change my password for work, I was frustrated at doing all of the conventions, and so I just used my old password _final. Okay, I like this shot. This one I think could be really easy to do. So let's do that real quick. Shot 10. Okay. Let's
Are you
bring
going to do him in the suit or full-on Velociraptor walking with no Tom Cruise suit?
Oh, look at the suit. Turn the suit on in that. That one made me laugh because it's this wide shot with like this headless suit walking.
Oh my gosh. That's
some of these that have
phenomenal.
crossfades, excuse me, some that have crossfades, we can just put I can fade it in Premiere if you want, or you can add a solid with a opacity keyframed if you want.
Nice. I love the the way that crossfades really screw over anyone trying to steal your clips from trailers. I have a simple enough solution for this. Production Crate are awesome friends. Let me see if I can pull it up here. If you are a Production Crate member, you have access to all this really cool stuff, including, look at this, Raptor, lots of animated, exciting raptors.
That one's perfect for that shot. If you
That
were
one really
doing
is.
the full body dinosaur.
It's
Which one?
Not as
Which one?
But it's not as sultry a walk as
Well, there's the standalone. The walk cycle has without him moving.
That's true.
It's in there. It's in the production crate. Oh, but I mean that's still.
So yeah. Also, let me just to pull it up again. So they've got all these amazingly
Look at that.
baked animations. You can grab them. Very cool. I think it's possible that some are even free. This running one might be. And down here,
Making promises.
I say load more. Look at this. The Velociraptor model itself for cinema right here. Look at that. The full crazy thing. So, I may switch this to more of a half screen view.
Oh, it's got takes with different animations baked in, so you can get whatever angle you want.
Yes. So
Excellent.
We've got a Velociraptor. Here's a walk. Oh, let's see. So that's a walk, and this is. Oh wait, am I not? Oh, there we go. Let's switch it to the walk. Oh, there we go. That's decent, but I'm going to do a little bit of modification on here. I'm going to save this incrementally, or no, I'm going to save this as walk and talk. I know he's not talking, but, oh, what did I do?
Chris just asked, he said he animated the music today, but AE won't play the audio once I animate the layer. Look right up here, Chris, this little button right here lets you turn the audio back on and welcome yourself to a hellish nightmarescape of sound that is After Effects doing sound.
Aaron, no, that is not in the asset browser. That is from Production Crate.
From Production Crate, everyone. So I'm going to dive into this, the rig they've got here, and I want to find the neck. Let me see. Is this the actual, where the actual animation is? The leg bones are down there. Head joints are down here. Where is the... Wow, I don't even know how this is rigged. This is wild. What I was hoping for is to find the head joint in general, and if everything is skinned to it, then I would do some adjusting.
If you're in a take, then you may need to override the takes.
There we go. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, dude. I King Kong'd you.
Oh.
Ouch. Okay, so need the jaw too. Where the jaw? Oh, so it's this whole. Oh, that's really cool. Look at how smart this rig is. It's built so the head can move around more independently. Dang it. Okay, so that's cool. Can you rotate the head? I'm fighting against some clever things in this rig that are different from when I was doing my ET animations. They're very complicated. Oh, well, forget that. Let's just export a handful of frames of this, maybe like 80 frames of that. How do they render in here? Let's see. Let's look at our angle again real quick. That suit is hilarious. I feel like for the sake of this gag, I want to do a full body Velociraptor. We're not going to have body to continuity throughout this process.
I love how you could easily just put a still of a raptor's head right there and track it to it, and this shot would be just fine.
It probably would be just fine. But that's the easy way out, Seth.
That's the way that gets done on the show. We want to do it the way that gets done the week after the show. So
exactly.
We can't work on our short film that we have to work on.
Whatever.
All right.
He said, not on a recorded feed sponsored by his company. Let's go find...
Speaking of being sponsored by this company, if you're interested in learning how to rig, there is an intro to rigging course that is about ready to pop onto the scene. And if you go to the link that Red Giant handily just posted in the chat, you can get yourself scheduled to join that course. Hands-on with Maxon, Intro to Rigging at Cinema 4D.
Oh my goodness. The Hands-on with Maxon series are quite valuable, especially for people who have...
they're like 0 to hero type stuff.
All right, output, let's do... I'm going to save. Now, I know, Michael, you might know more information about this. I've heard that TIFFs are better to use for animation sequences than PNGs.
They're faster to encode and to load, yes. Pings are about the slowest. OpenEXR is faster.
Do you get an alpha channel on a
file
TIFF?
Sizes. What?
Do you get an alpha channel on a TIFF?
Yes.
It shows you I never use TIFFs ever.
Yeah, TIFFs are larger than pings, file size wise.
Oh, but they still...
But they load way, way, way faster. Similar to how ProRes loads faster than MP4s, because After Effects has to do a lot less decompression on it. But OpenEXRs, which are more compressed than pings, are actually more efficient to decompress. So OpenEXRs are faster than pings, but TIFFs are still like the fastest.
Get out of my head. All right, let's go ahead and just output. Frame range. I only want to do about 80 of these frames. I'm just doing a quick render with the picture viewer right here of a handful of this walk cycle's frames like this, so I can pull them in as an image sequence now. Very flat lighting. I'm going to do all of the lighting and shadowy tricks in After Effects.
Oh, this is going to be great, because I was going to say you could export an OBJ sequence and bring it into Element, but being able to show off some lighting matchy tricks when you don't have a 3D model of something is going to be great. I'm on board.
Excellent. So we'll go to my pre-renders folder. It's still rendering in the background, but I'm just going to go ahead and import the sequence anyway, and I can just kind of keep refreshing it. So let's bring in this Velociraptor. I love it just being a T-Rex sized thing that she's just, suddenly making eye contact with from across the courtyard. Okay. So
and it just plows through those trees, just leaves a big T-Rex shaped hole in those trees as it slowly romantically goes through them. Yes, romantically plows through them is what I almost said.
I know that a real Velociraptor is not this big. A real Velociraptor is about this big, which is really sad. But
this is true. This is true, folks. The raptors in the movie were not Velociraptors. They were Utah Raptors.
Utah Raptors, yes. Named after my home state. My home, you're
from the
that
state
I moved
of Utah,
to when
Raptor.
I was 4. That's still your home state.
What was your town? What was your city?
Salt Lake City, baby.
Salt Lake City, Utah Raptor.
The city the Beach Boys were always singing about.
Classic.
Famously, Beach Boys singing about that. Salt Lake City.
Oh my gosh, I need to do nothing. The camera move is exactly the speed of this.
Can it be looking at her though? I wanted to be looking at her while walking.
I want to do that too. So
because I don't think I've ever seen a raptor do this, where it just stared at you while walking parallel to you. Maybe I have seen it, but not romantically.
Well, you don't see it because it's from the ones at the sides that you never saw coming.
That's right.
All right.
Didn't even know we're there.
Goodness gracious. This is an amazing rig, I am sure, and I have no idea how it works. So, neck. Okay, coordinates. Can I rotate this at all? No, it keeps on going back. Is it because there's a jiggle expression down here? Is it that? No, that's not what's fighting me. There could be constraints and all these kinds of things.
Move the position of that null.
So it's doing this kind of a thing. Like when I start to move it.
Oh, it does that too when you move it?
It's fighting me. So there's
something is somewhere telling it to point somewhere.
This is beyond my pay grade, but you know what's not above my pay grade is deformer objects like bend. Which
Excellent.
I can just say,
Now we're
hey,
speaking
you
my
know
language.
what? Deformer object here. How about you? Or let's see, your angle is almost, strength. I want it to be about that much of a turn. Oh my gosh, this is what the pros do, y'all. Please work. Just to recap, I'm grabbing a bend deformer object and I'm going to try to fit it over the raptor's head. I promise this is going to work. Okay, so I'll throw this down. Oh God,
It needs to come after the skin deformer.
I see no
The stack.
shame in what you're doing. Literally no shame.
Okay, so it's under here.
It has to come like way further down.
Wait,
No. In the it
In
has to be in
here?
that stack, but like
wherever
it needs
the
to happen
actual-
after, because there's a skin deformer that makes the model follow the bones based on how it's weighted and how the bones are blah blah blah. But that is still just a deformer. So deformers happen in order. So you want that to happen after the bend deformer
So what is the
or after the
actual?
skin deformer.
So where is my actual raptor? Is it this thing that's hidden?
Yes.
Age-old question.
Oh, there's all of the skins for it. So I gotcha. Sorry. Where'd you go, bend deformer? There we go. So you go in here. No, right there. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
Tick the box
That
in the bend
became an
deformer to keep
apatosaurus.
length.
Like,
click keep length in the bend deformer.
So keep length and
Then change the angle.
But he's just getting his exercise in. Yep. Professionals, everyone. Okay. Strength. Okay, so I can turn it like that.
And you can rotate the bend deformer as much as you want to get it in whatever angle you want to. Got
Which,
tons of
so something
visibility.
like this, I think. I feel like that's about the right level of eye contact. Because, I mean, really, a raptor making eye contact with you is doing that, right? Is looking off to the side.
yeah.
Well, yeah, they if they want a good look, it's like a bird. They do that. They don't do.
So, oh wait, can it go in the bottom of this whole section? No. Do I need to put it in all of these? Because there are several different skins here. So should I control copy it to where, and put one in the, wait, how do I unlock this group? Michael, make this group come back to me. Michael, someone in
Sorry,
the comments.
I was answering.
How do I unlock? Darren.
That is probably locked
Frankowitz,
because
you're
of
watching it.
go to the layers tab down. Where's the layers? Right there. Layers tab is right down there, right there. And then unlock stuff.
The mesh. The mesh is on fire. Wait. So this band ended up in the body. You can't just put one in the group,
yeah,
right?
Put it in the group below everything else, but still in the group. So just move it. Just select everything in the group and move it above it. Is the easiest way to do it.
Oh, this is working. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So we've got this.
Hit play and watch it move.
Yeah. Look at that. All right. Now let's play with the settings on this bend again. Let's see if I don't keep to length. Oh, that's ridiculous.
You might want to also shrink the size of the bend deformer so that instead of the whole head bending, it's just a small section of the head that bends.
Oh yeah, so it'll maintain the actual head shape.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I can go down to like its kind of collar.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone who was probably eager to help in the chat.
No, the chat's just complaining that there's no new Cheap Tricks episode.
Oh, come on. Do you have any idea how long it takes to watch a 1 hour tutorial just to sweep for typos? That's not even mentioning the ums I have to remove. You get those live, though.
Hey, look over here. This is fun.
Oh, nice.
Now,
Boogie dance, boogie dance, boogie dance, boogie dance, boogie dance, boogie dance, boogie dance. If there weren't a gun and a flash, it would look like he's just like partying.
Yeah, 100% would. And that's a challenge that I'm not willing to accept because I am on a mission.
Time. We're trying to do a full trailer here.
What time are we at right now? We're at
an hour in.
1 hour in?
That's all right.
We've been in to do all the rest of the shots.
I've been in slowpoke mode over here. Okay, where's my renderer? Start rendering to the picture viewer in the background. You bastard. Yes, I want to overwrite.
You bastard.
All right. So as these overwrite, let me just reload this footage for a second.
Boom.
And as I recall, we don't even need any translation on him, pretty much. So I can go ahead and start building the look of the integration here. So
this is the part I'm looking forward to.
Let's grab this dinosaur and just place him right here, and let's look at our reference body there. So there is clearly a hint of directionality in the light here, but not a ton. Now this render is very frontal flat, kind of. There's nothing. Oh, let me reload that. Oh, am I messing up his hands too much with the bend deformer? Oh, I am a bit. Let me just fix that because you can't have that. This is supposed to be sexy raptor being all smooth. And let's see. All right. So I don't want that. I clipped his wrist right there. So let's move the deformer a little bit forward so we're not getting that broken wrist thing. But the head still looks fine to me. And now that I know where the lighting is and I'm going to re-render this, why don't I just go ahead and add a teeny bit of lighting in here? Why not? I'm just going to add one simple light that is up kind of in this direction. That'll just give me a hint better. But when I add that light, that probably...
And you can add an environment object, bump up the ambient lighting or environment lighting so that it's not a very harsh, dark spot below him.
This, I don't even know how to explain it. This is my favorite thing I've ever made, I think. I want this to be my screensaver.
I want that to be my life.
We definitely need you to save that out so we can put it in Giphy.
I'm going to need...
With hashtag VFX and chill in the bottom right corner.
It's just, it's making me so happy. This is our new hero image for Bang. Even though it's not being used on the show.
I'll just take out the muzzle flash and put in a Bang muzzle flash.
Yeah. I should
seriously, paint out that muzzle flash, put in a Bang muzzle flash. We'll be good to go.
I'll do it after the show. Even though the point of the show is to show off Red Giant tools. So maybe I'll do it right now. Or I'll just... Right. What if I had an even bigger... Hang on.
Just add a Bang on top of that. That's twice as big.
What's standard practice? We put it on solids or adjustment layers?
Black solid is what I like to do, because then you can do some more solid.
All right.
Do some more color correction and stuff like that to it without affecting the layer below by accident.
Excellent. Bang.
All right. I did a really poor job of monkeying with the lighting a little bit. I don't know what it's going to do. Ugh. I messed it up dramatically, which was exactly what I wanted to do as a teachable moment here. So this wrapper doesn't look great, but let's start with some of the basics. Let's add in VFX shadow. I cannot spell today for the life of me. VFX shadow I think we've talked about on the show before, is something where you just define a ground plane and then have this handy little interface to be able to put a shadow on the ground. So I'm just going to line up the shadow base right where his feet are. I'm going to try to make sure that's in a relatively straight line. And it looks like the shadow slightly favors forward and is pretty darn close. So something like that. And then in the shadow settings itself, I'll go over to the softness, turn up the softness, and then we'll get, kind of matching that general look. And also, I think I can tint the shadow. This is an effect I was looking for the other day and was wrong. So I'm going to sample maybe one of the black color over here, or maybe, I don't want to sample quite that shadow color, but I want something darker that'll influence it like this shadow. It's pretty brown. Maybe it's this color back here, kind of. I don't know. What do you think, people with eyes and colors and stuff?
I have eyes. What you need?
It's definitely pinker.
It needs to be pinker, or
Mm-hmm.
try to bump the red of it. I don't know what I'm getting here.
Well, that's better. That's better.
There we go. All right. So we get to set a shadow color, set the softness, set the amount like that. And now, you got to refresh your image sequence, of course.
I'm so pleased with this episode already.
This is great. All right,
Yep.
so I'm gonna do this so like the eye line is sort of where Tom's eye line would be, and then I'll turn off the Tom layer, and now we've got shadow on here, and yeah, I really did mess the lighting up, didn't I? How about we add some CC light sweep to this raptor? And CC light sweep, y'all know, is so you can go shooting on your logo raptors. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it this direction. I'm going to turn the angle kind of like this. So in a way, it's sort of the same angle as the sunbeam that's casting that shadow. Everyone see that? So it's kind of like that. And then I'll put it way up here. And then I will say width. I'm turning up the width all the way to the width of this whole dinosaur. Now that looks a little bit silly, but it's adding two things. It's adding this sweep, which is the actual like lighting the whole layer, and it's adding an edge right here. So like a bevel, which is pretty cool, but better than a bevel. So I could sample maybe something bright from the background here and put that as the edge color, turn up the edge thickness, but turn down the edge intensity a lot, just so I get a teeny bit of top light from whatever color I sample here. And then if I want to turn up the sweep intensity, it'll brighten the whole body with sort of that same color. So it's weird and it'll affect the color a lot, but something like this does have this hint of volumetric to it that might actually help me out. Now, let me turn the intensity down on both.
Anyone know how to decrease this amount of space between the barrel of the gun and the muzzle flash?
Oh, switch it from 2D plus depth up at the top there to, yeah, that would work. And then you can move the actual, you should have two controls on how to move that around.
Oh, I did have two controls. The problem is, it's not like...
Oh, do you have...
There's just a
like
space.
Auto aim is checked somewhere? I don't remember the names of this.
No, it's like, it's the... How do I explain what this is? Stu, you're out there. Tell me something. It's like, this is the gun, but this is where the flash is starting. There's a space in between.
Well, it's the age of the flash. Turn the age down, it'll move back into the barrel.
Thank you.
There we go. See, here at Red Giant, we can put the flash back in the barrel. What are you on about?
This is my favorite thing ever.
Because the only thing worse, they're running into a velociraptor in a suit on the streets of... Where is this? Where are they?
Are they in France at this point? I think
generic European city.
Generic European city that could possibly...
Generis.
Like, imagine, because first of all, you're like, Raptor, oh no, he's in a suit. Maybe it's okay. Seems chill. Pulls out...
It's wearing human clothes.
The most devastating handheld weapon you've ever seen.
No. Well, pulls out small pistol.
Again.
Oh, we might be screwed, but not too screwed. Pulls trigger. All of generic European block is destroyed.
Yes, we don't want any European cities destroyed.
No. Sorry, everyone.
Way to go, Seth.
Hey, you guys were the ones who brought Europe into this.
I think that was
Western
actually
European city.
Paramount Pictures. All right, let's just go into Super Comp. Let's click
Seth,
match
if you glow that too much more.
background.
I'm just turning off the effects. I think it's good just like that.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm tempted to just for this one frame add like a massive dust wave in the background, like just. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go back to the future.
What the audience can't hear is that I have the audio still turned on in After Effects, so I get to listen to this great musical sting every time I preview. Let's see. I'm going to slide the Raptor a little bit further back, just so you have a little bit more time to see that. All right, so it's bright, and then it starts fading out right here. So let's just do what our friend Seth recommended, which was just throw a black solid up on top of everything. That is going to keyframe itself from 0 right here to black, pretty much. No,
well, the problem is that
the background is still fading out on
its own thing, so you need to have that black only be over top of the Raptor, or just keyframe a tint effect on the Raptor that's set to black.
That works.
Both chips. What's the easiest way to just turn a layer slowly black? Since annoyingly the fill effect opacity doesn't affect, or you could put a fill effect and do the compositing options opacity, not the fill effect's own opacity.
Ooh. All right, so let's see. It is all the way bright. Where's the first hint of the fade? Is it right there? Here. So that's 0%. And right there. There's 100%. Good call. I like that fill trick. Maybe ease it in a little bit. Close enough.
Brian, now your suggestion about doing a matte shadow in element would be great, but this dinosaur is a rendered element. It is a flat 2D footage element. This particular dinosaur is not in element. So Hashi's showing us how to take like a green screen footage or some other pre-rendered element and add a shadow when you... It's as if you don't have a 3D... This is a key dinosaur we shot on a green screen.
Man, a dinosaur with blue embellishments. Like, what kind of screen do you film them in front of? Okay, one thing that I feel like is still kind of missing from this, like the shadow is working all right, but I want some more really distinct contact shadow. So I'm doubling up my instances of shadow. I'm going to make this shadow color all the way to the darks back here, sampling it from those shadows. I'm going to move its point up to here, kind of behind the heel, and I'm going to make it very short. So it's just right below him. And then these two shadows together may turn up the opacity of this truncated one a little bit. And that might give me the dark shadow that I yearn for, right where his toes are touching down. The other trick for that I've done before is if you have someone moving from the side, you would duplicate. I'm working in Super Comp now, so let me hide that. You can duplicate the layer of somebody like this raptor walking along, and just to solo it for a second, you could put a little mask right there. Let me delete all the effects on this, and just do a little teeny mask right there. And then you go to fast box blur, do a little bit of that, and then fill that with some black or whatever. And now, if you had your walking raptor, you can take this instance of it and just, whoops, the one with the mask, can just kind of move it down a little bit, and then maybe add another fast box blur that is horizontal only, and that will stretch out this shadow right next to their toes.
This is a good tip, folks. This is a good tip.
And that gives you, let me turn it on and off. So that makes up for, like, this is a great projected shadow, but there's so much light under the foot right there. But if I put this on, now I can kind of tinker with the darkness right under the footsteps. Yeah. I can even squish this a little bit so it looks flatter. It's not a great comp, but I think it'll cut in just fine.
Yeah, I think the overall shadow needs to be knocked back to like half of what it is.
That's always a good tip for shadows.
Put it down to where you can barely see it, and then do one notch, but one notch less.
Mm-hmm. And the color I'm not in love with. Oh, and the fact that it's cutting off. Let me, you know what? Maybe I don't even need that whole second shadow instance. I'm going to uncheck this clip to bounding box button, which I know can increase render times, but it'll make it so there's not a harsh line up at the front. Why is, the fill is not fading out fast enough. All right, I thought I was going to go into overdrive mode, but instead, we spent forever in here. I'm just going to do a little hint of CC toner, and let me turn on Ethan again, because I kind of like the color of this suit. I'm just going to sample the middle level of this suit somewhere. And then I'm going to push that a little bit more in its colorful direction. And that's going to look like garbage. But then I'm going to turn down the toner to blend mostly with the original, but just bring it down a little bit because he's too saturated and I want him to move in the direction of Ethan over here. Because he's a real object in the scene.
Anytime you can reference real objects in a scene, it's going to help. It's going to help.
Probably just go for that. Okay, that's enough of this.
Have you saved recently, Hashi, by the way?
Oh, why save? Why save when life is so short? Actually, that's all right. Let's render this one. This is going to be shot 10. Putting a space between shot and 10 with an underscores for the version numbers. Do you like that?
I love it.
So.
Like it. I love it.
Exceeds the color depth. What is that interesting noise? Is that a raptor call?
Oh, what are you hearing?
I didn't hear a thing.
It sounded
Hashi, look
like a raptor call.
Yeah, Hashi, look outside right
It's
now.
like a little
As we know from the
scary
trailer.
rattle.
Oh, was
As
it
we know from
this?
the trailer, raptors live in snowy areas now.
Was
So
it
look
this?
outside your Canadian window.
Was it this number? No?
No.
Hmm.
All right. So done with that shot. Let's move on to another one. What else we got in these plates? What I want to do a fun one now, not just standing around.
You've got him in a helicopter. You've got him driving a car. You've got...
All right. Which exciting ones do you remember prepping? Are these what you're saying right now?
Let's see. Did I don't know if I prepped any of the really fun ones, honestly.
Let me look at plate 9. Oh, they are in here already.
Oh, 9 was like all of them as raptor. Like it was like him and two other raptors like in a scene. But I feel like you want to have him like in I didn't get to prep the helicopter yet, but
oh, no problem. I'll pull that in. Let's see.
I can actually I think I have it. I'll export it out to you as a
perfect
plain plate. Hold on.
Look at that. The miracle of
collaboration.
Cooperation makes it happen. And get a copyright strike from the Children's Television Workshop.
Stu is watching slightly delayed, and he says your gun is a bit big. That's why your flash is too far away from the gun, but also flash age would be a good solve for.
See, I was making the gun.
He hasn't heard.
I was making the gun big to try and make the flash big, and I learned that that doesn't do anything. So it wasn't doing anything for me at least. So, but I'll go back and fix that. So I've got this shot, Hush, with some reflection on it. Then I've got this one that's pretty short, but
what are those two numbers? I like both.
I haven't exported yet. I'm about to render them both out for you.
I like it. I want them both.
Give me them plates.
Gimme. I'm like a person enthusiastic for
Also, I've got this
dishwashing.
one that I was thinking about putting the Indominus in if you've got...
Oh my gosh.
So,
I'll try to find the clip of the Indominus.
And there's also, you could do a puppet, you could puppet the ankle break as well.
Oh, jeez.
Just going to send these all out to you. These are not going to be named anything. These are not going to be following any naming structure or convention. I'm sorry.
Why would they be?
I know.
File.
And rend.
Rend.
They are rending.
All right. Let me see. Let me close down a couple of these things in here. Oh, I just said no to do you want to save changes. They try so hard to help me. Now, I feel like, wait, instead of me trying to do this, I'm going to look up if this is how it worked. I feel like, I was thinking it was EJ, but it was Nick at Grayscale Gorilla who does a great tutorial. I'll just play these ads for you too. Check this out on a way to do soft body physics in Cinema 4D. This is a great video. Let me see if I can play it, and I'll just play this instead of my half of the screen. This is a really cool technique that allows you to take a complex shape like a raptor or something like that. And when you do something like the soft body physics tag, it's calculating where all the points move and how the object's getting into form. So if you have a complex object like this, it's a lot of calculation power. But if you build a proxy shape that is just like an Iron Man suit for your object, and you kind of tailor it to be as tight-fitting as possible, you can then
use the mesh
apply the software
on it. Yeah.
Exactly. Check that out.
But now this tutorial was made before Cinema 4D had the ability to reduce the polygon amount of a mesh just with the polygon reduce tool.
Oh, was it really made that long ago? Wow.
Yeah. Yep, this is an old one.
Because this is what when you said breaking his ankle, I remembered that seeing the point where Nick got to testing out the physics of this thing. And I feel like, anyway, this would be a fun way to do the grabbing a velociraptor jump pose and letting it just slam into a wall. There you go.
Oh, I love that.
Just flopping down like a John Wick set of fire escapes that it just plummets and flops down to hit the ground.
That reminds me of that gravity stuff. We've invited my friend, our friend Bruce Brannett onto the show, who is a VFX supervisor on this past season of Righteous Gemstones. He worked on Westworld. He did a shot from Breaking Bad. I'm just going to spoil it and give it away and have him talk it through it later. But
memorable shot, man.
It's an amazing shot from Breaking Bad, and I don't care about whatever. Somebody runs over some dudes with a car in a scene from Breaking Bad, and the way he got the physics of the bodies to roll over the Aztec was he turned the scene sideways and just played it like the guys were falling against the Jeep and over it. And it looks amazing. Like, we got to have Bruce on the show. We've invited him, and
my
he's
goodness,
coming eventually.
that is a fantastic shot. All right, beautiful. Okay, so we've got to do a little bit of... let's run through our little process again. So I've got to erase Tom. So we've got this reflection moving. That might be a hint of a challenge, but not too bad.
Learned how to fly a helicopter so he could be in the actual helicopter for this type of shot, and you're going to take him right out of it. Right over there.
Well, it's like that scene where I was rotoing. Like, I love when we're like rotoing like Stu's shots. We're doing stuff for like, this stuff has been rotoed before. Someone finely tuned rotoed this frame by frame, and now we're going in and cutting out their rotoed work. It always feels dirty and bad.
No, this is one of the shots where he was actually flying it.
Oh no, I'm saying in similar. Yeah. It's similar in theme to when we're rotoing someone's roto work, someone's hard work, essentially.
Well, it's just like Todd Vaziri's pet peeve: the trailers with 3D text. There's no way the studio is giving out their
project files, so someone had to roto the helicopters. Yeah.
Yep. So someone has to re-roto all the stuff that definitely exists as easy to access layers somewhere. But a lot of that kind of work is still done with After Effects and Cinema 4D at major studios, which is kind of cool because a lot of the time they don't get that spotlight for feature film work. But
the big studios like to pretend that they're using the high end blah blah blah, but a lot of the time it's just there are some big places that have some of the high-end machines out front where the clients can see it, but then in back there's a bunch of After Effects artists who do the majority of the work on the visual effects. And I didn't know that it happened. I always thought they all used the big name stuff until I started working here. And it was like, oh, we sell them a lot of licenses for After Effects plugins. It'd be weird if they were using them inside of other software.
Or we just have a really good sales team.
Like, trust us. Trust us. You're going to need it.
This will make your comps better in that other software.
How else are you going to reticulate them splines?
But yeah, Todd Vaziri shared on Twitter a really cool shot from Star Wars Episode 2, I believe.
That doesn't
some of the After Effects work that had been done on that shot. When where the ship gets shot out in front of Yoda and the guys are in the... I want to say Chinook because that's the kind of aircraft I would be in for that kind of shot. They're standing in a troop carrier.
We get it, Michael. You know aircrafts.
No, I've been in them. Anyway, they're in a troop carrier.
You have any.
They're in a troop carrier on this planet, and Yoda's standing there with some stormtrooper, clone trooper, whatever's, and a ship gets blown out of the air next to them. And he was talking about how they used After Effects to make that shot happen, and I was like, that's super cool. I like it. Anyway, follow Todd Vaziri on Twitter.
I love that.
Or don't.
Love
Whatever
it.
you want. But
Yeah, he doesn't need your follow. He's fine.
No.
He'll get work.
All right, I'm gonna track the position, all that stuff of these of this little console here, because I'm going to use that as the base motion for anything I add to the shot. Because I'm gonna guess it's pretty similar. So let's set the target, this null one. Let's do a quick track through. Beautiful. Apply that, and then I'll just call this the base. I don't know. And now I can do stuff like this. I content-aware filled this, and it's fine. But obviously, if I turn off the fill and disable this mask again, there's clearly, supposed to be some like components of the helicopter that you would see here that I can't. And Seth, you solved this by going into Photoshop and probably doing this the right way. But one of the ways that I like to do stuff like this is I will add a solid in a case like this. I'll turn down its opacity a lot, and then I'm just going to draw the shape of the helicopter back here. Like that.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be something solid up here. And then I'll just parent this solid to that base that I just did there. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to add one of my favorite ridiculous filters, which is the 4-color gradient. And what's fun about the 4-color gradient is that I'm going to move all the points kind of to sections on this helicopter right here, like right close, somewhere within this shape. And I'm going to turn off the effect. And these are points 1, 2, 3, 4, reading order. I'm just going to go sample point 1 right there. Let me turn off the solid first. So I'm sampling these colors. Sample point 1 right there. Sample point 2 right there. You could even expression link these to what is it called? There's an expression to grab the color of a specific point. And so now when I display this solid, I've made this solid that is just a ramp, but it kind of matches the general colors in this vicinity.
This is such a tricky trick.
And so now if I put that turn that fill on, and let's see, I'll just put that back like this, and then I can do some additional masks on top of this mask. And I'm sure shape layers would work fine too, but I'll add some subtract masks that are feathered out so it kind of blends in at the top there. You're seeing bits of the real helicopter. I can duplicate this mask and drag it down so that section where it actually does touch the console right there is filled in a little bit. And since it's connected to that base thing, I have a feeling that when I play this back, it'll look like, that bit of the helicopter's back that would have been impossible to
fill in that shot behind his head. Now listen.
Exactly.
I thought you were going to say
he's too big for the helicopter. He's sticking his head out the front.
Hashi, I thought you were going to say your trick was just to make the Velociraptor big enough to cover up those spots. But this is way but cooler a tip.
Yeah, like obviously making the Velociraptor bigger is a better move.
Oh, Chris, the color, the expression is sample image.
All right.
So you would make the a point follow where that thing is, and you'd use a sample image expression to say sample image at this point, and then that gives you the color that you need.
Mm-hmm. The sample image is pretty cool. I use it in my Template of Doom episode, which I'm a little disappointed that more people didn't post melting heads. So if you haven't melted your head and you're a viewer of the show, go melt your head.
Cut to court.
All right, I should have clarified.
Now it's time for bang. Drop a solid here.
Solid.
And
Love that guy. Just so we know, I insisted that Seth put that in because I remember that from that episode of Bill Nye. Every time I hear the word solid, I can't not see that Beatnik celebrating.
Beatnik. And then he found my my long lost appearance on the show.
I did.
Which
Seth Worley, wonderful. His guest appearance on the teaching us about science.
Oh, I went on the what podcast was I on last week, Hashi? It was the folks you've talked to before who gave you
Puget Systems, right?
Yes,
Puget Systems.
And he was like, right before the show started, he was like, "That's so crazy! You were on Bill Nye." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't actually on Bill Nye. It just looks remarkably like I did as a child."
I shared this saying that it was Seth's appearance, and no one called me on it.
I want that kid on a shirt.
Someone will think it's just your own childhood face.
It might.
Who would wear their own face on an item of clothing?
It might be.
Speaking of which, you see my new socks?
What's remarkable is it looks like just like you, and it does also look like it could be one of your children.
Are you talking about socks with faces on them, Michael?
What? Oh, wait. Bring it a little closer to camera so it's the same scale as your actual head, and then just move it. Move that half. Move that half sock.
Right.
There you go. Now move it
closer.
forward. See the half of the face that's getting lost on the half.
Oh,
there.
I see.
Now bring it closer. There we go. And content aware filled.
Anyway.
All right. Well, speaking of footwear, I need to show off the my amazing footwear, which is on me right now. It's going to be awkward, but check out my exciting
Canada.
Yes,
repping his new hometown.
Absolutely,
town of Canada.
I didn't know it got cold here.
You threw out all of your jeans and all of your socks.
I did. I mean, we're higher on the globe, so that's closer to the sun, right?
Heat rises, yeah.
Which
that's
should be
definitely
the top.
way the Earth's sitting. So
definitely
heat should go to the top.
Did we discuss on this show how any time travel device would have to also keep track of
position,
where in
space and time? Yeah. For those who missed that episode, we discussed that a time travel device is only good if it's a time and space travel device, because at this moment in time, the Earth is moving quite rapidly in a direction and spinning. And so if I time travel to this exact point in space 10 minutes ago, I would be way, way, way over.
Well, here's the other thing, Michael. It is scientifically, if theoretically, if time travel were possible, it is impossible to travel just through time. You must also travel through space in order to travel through time as well. Actually,
wait, is that not just the exact sentence that he said?
No, he said if you were to travel through time, you would end up like in a different space because of the movement
if
of
it
Earth.
were the same, right? Yes.
But I'm saying that theoretically, apparently, you have to travel through space in order to travel through time as well. They sound the same.
Time is just a dimension. Like
it's a flat circle.
Yeah, I think time is just a dimension like left, right, up, down is. So traveling through time and space are identical because they're just the same. They're just dimensions. But that's a whole other.
I think time
discussion for a different podcast.
I think time was a pillow crafted by the lizard king of Gorp to call us all to the great beyond on March 3rd, 2021, which is ahead of us if you believe in this. I'm running out of words. And
in the Sethian calendar,
that blue on your Velociraptor, Hashi, is real close to the blue of the helicopter reflection. So I feel like it's gonna tie in nicely.
I love when Michael follows up one of your jokes with that blue in that Hashi.
Look, he's sitting there fiddling with it, and I was looking at it.
Boy, that blue.
Always sitting there fiddling. Hey, let's move on to scaling this properly.
Boo.
I am just gonna preserve the Ethan shoulder and jacket from this thing. Velociraptor head is so much funnier. Let's just pop open this layer.
It's because he's a refined, like he's got like He's just got a refined lifestyle that comes with wearing a clothes. That's implied by wearing clothes.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be flying a helicopter, you would wear the, proper accoutrement. Right, Michael?
Yes.
I know helicopter terms.
It's ideal to wear something other than your civvies if you're going to be on a helicopter engaging in slightly tactical maneuvers.
Tall hats and long scarves.
Capes, lots of capes.
Lots of capes. All right, let's see. All right, Roto Brush, nail this. You can do it.
It did.
Boom, 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 boom. And right. I just want that little color. Boom, boom. No. Sharp corners, the nemesis of smoothing for time. I know when you were rotoing Batman ears, that turned out to be the
oh my god,
the specific weakness.
And Roto Brush does not care for sharp corners.
And when you're rotoing Batman ears in a Nolan film, where there's just like
darkness,
it's darkness, and there's no like, it's just all diffused and all soft like lighting, and there's no sharp edges. Oh, it was Batman ears on black background with no rim light.
Oh, we're freezing things, Seth. We're freezing things.
We're freezing.
And
what's happened? Oh,
freeze.
She's freezing. There we go. Wait, hang on. Is freeze spelled correctly in that graphic?
Yes, it is spelled the way Schwarzenegger spells it.
Gotcha.
Freeze.
Freeze.
I once made a tutorial years ago where I painstakingly, some of my earliest tutorials, painstakingly put a cut to freeze, chill, like after every time I froze a roto brush. And then Arn Rabinowitz was like, I don't want us to get sued. Can you go and take all of that out? So I went and had take all of it out. Cut to Hashi's first tutorial where he's like, here's an entire scene from Doctor Strange. And here's every call out possible. We loosened up by that point. And cut to all of our show. I love it.
Blocked in your territory.
The landscape of studios realizing that people remixing their content was really only causing more interest in their content certainly had improved a lot of things.
Tell that to
whoever blocked us in 275 territories for our Batman theme song from the last episode.
That's a lot of territories to be blocked in.
Yeah, basically we're only that episode is only viewable in the U.S. The rest of the world apparently no.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I was in it and I can't even see it because I'm not there anymore.
Oh, Seth, Colin Blake from chat says that they have been enjoying the Writers Room Game Show podcast.
Well, thank you very much.
So if you like film too and want to watch film nerds be nerdy about film, then I highly recommend the Writers Room Game Show podcast.
Talking about film, you're talking writing film. We write an original feature film every week, and it is, and they're all good.
People don't think writing matters in film, but it's a fairly important part of the process.
Who doesn't think writing matters in film? What
straw
man are you creating in this scenario?
There are 90 or so of you
What's happening
listening, and we probably have overlapping, listeners, viewers, or whatever, but all of you, 98, 100 now, should all go listen to an episode of the Writers Room Game Show and use it as a teaching tool in your house. Seth, if you had to pick one of your darlings to be sampled by strangers, what episode would you recommend of late that gets people into the spirit of that show?
Oh, I thought we had an episode called Deferred Sentence that was really fun a couple weeks back. I think The Greeter is an older one, but a good one.
Oh, The Greeter is a great one as well.
The Greeter is about where Anthony. It's like Die Hard, but in a Walmart. And Anthony Hopkins is a greeter at a Walmart who saves people from a terrorist takeover, hostile takeover. I also think the one this past week called One Last Job, in which Nicolas Cage plays a vampire named Count Ricula, was pretty great. What about you, Hosh? What's your favorite writer? Now, here comes the segment on VFX and Chill where I ask everyone what their favorite episode of my other show is.
Well, your appearance on the Puget live show was great. The the Writers Room game show is really cool. They wait, what's the elevator pitch of what happens on that?
Oh, we gave it all. We're good.
We did. We're good. All right.
What's happening here? Has anybody seen this before? Where the flare just turns blue?
Anyone seen this?
Oh, I thought you were doing that on purpose.
No, it just turns blue when I move the aim too far in.
Oh, that's a fun one. Save that project file because I've never seen that happen. So save that, like save as bug, whatever, and send that to the PM. Oh, you got blue now.
Whoa.
Yep, that's save that comp like by his own project, and we'll get that in front of the people.
I will,
because I've never seen that.
The people.
I make sure you let them know that you're on an M1 machine.
You and your M1.
It renders on the GPU set. It matters.
I know it matters.
All right, let's see. You know what? I'm going to draw this mask. Oh, I'm going to try a little trick that sometimes works. We've been over this before. If you are, let's see, let me play back my shot. So we've got Tom Cruise turns head like that. I feel like that action works in this shot pretty well.
Really good action, yeah.
But right over here, we get close to this kind of edge, and it gets past a little bit, which betrays that is supposed to be inside this helicopter. So I think if I put something in front of it, you'll forgive how long the nose is. And I just need this little bit, and it'd be really easy to just draw a very quick mask there. But I want to show off this tool, which I didn't know until Harry Frank showed me, that you can go to the pen tool and say roto Bezier. Make sure you're on the right layer, first of all. Let me delete that. And then now you don't have the same handles as you do on something else, but it starts defining a shape like this. And this works really well for scenery. You can kind of adjust it so it's a weird kind of auto Beziered curve shape. But the reason it's good for this purpose is you can go down here and then say track mask. And then I'm just going to, I guess I'm on the last frame, so I'm going to track backwards. Oh, come on. That was a softball.
The mountain grabbed the edge of it and pulled it away.
Silly mountain. Always grabbing edges and pulling them away.
Grabbing edges.
All right. So obviously my mask went a little bit too wide. But it's kind of nice to get something that's semi-auto tracked. Whatever. All right, so we've got this. I'm going to...
Seth, he looks real excited to be shooting that gun.
He's so stoked. This is like a highlight. She's so stoked. I so apologize.
Well, again, Tom Cruise is a he. The dinosaurs is a she. They're being mixed together.
Gender is a construct on this episode of... Well, I don't mean to make fun of that thought, but okay.
Actually, this episode's going to offend a lot of people, starting with everyone who loved Gremlins and or E.T. from the beginning all the way through to Southern Baptist.
Only one of those demographics are real. Don't worry.
All right. So I've added another instance of light sweep because it's just so darn useful. And I'm just sampling this color that you can tell the tint is kind of pushing everything inside the helicopter to this light gray color. So I'm throwing a light sweep on with that color, and instead of add, which is the default to like brighten a thing, I'm changing it to composite. And so now it's just compositing that color over this little section right here. I can change the angle, I can change the width. And so it's just like getting his nose. So he's a little bit, further forward in here, but I'll find the right angle for that, maybe a little bit wider. And look, I can like turn that up so it's like more of them is behind glass.
So good. That's so good, Hashi.
Let's try that. And just ramming his nose into the far corner.
You should just have it shatter the glass and have the glass fly at us.
Yeah, a little breaking glass moment out the side there from Action VFX.
All right, these two shots, they go well together.
They do go well together, but that shot of him with his mouth open like that makes me think of the shot in Pulp Fiction where the dumb young criminal comes in shooting and misses.
Oh, yeah.
Misses Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta, like all over the place. Just that eager gunfire moment.
That's true.
Now, Seth, were you just naming these in order of ones you exported earlier, or are they shot numbered somewhere?
They're in order of they're in chronological order in the cut.
But I mean the helicopter shot you hadn't exported yet. Would it have a shot number in theory already?
It would be whatever the number is that's on that that's on that plate at the end. It's like Mission Fallout trailer comp 10, comp 9.
Oh yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Right here.
I'll find it. I'll know what it is.
It'd be like, I don't know where this specific helicopter.
Yeah, call it whatever. Who cares? I've called these gunplate, etc. So it's just fine.
Oh yeah, there's no shot numbers in this render you sent me.
Yeah, no one cares.
See, nobody cares. That's one of my favorite meme formats. Is
Absolutely.
The Nedry shot.
Oh, I'm gonna do this one.
Helicopter. Y'all are in such a treat once Seth takes all these and edits them together in his free time.
Absolutely. This is my week to overcompensate.
Dunk, 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 dunk. I am a velociraptor.
Honestly, it's
goodness. We've got about 6 minutes left. How are you feeling? Do you want to try to crank through another shot, or do you want to try to sum up the...
We should probably...
I do wish I had gotten to this.
I really wish you'd gotten to this too.
Hashi, I think we're going to have to spend our every waking work hours this week finishing this. I think it's important.
It's true. Our jobs are now exclusively making trailers that will melt your eyes.
Also, this just made me laugh. This fade out reveal.
It's a very somber moment talking to this.
What did we learn? What did stuff we might have learned? Color matching. We definitely learned some color matching. This show is the color matching show.
Oh my goodness. I forgot my nifty element trick. Can I show everyone real quick?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
5 minutes.
Okay.
This is cool.
All right. So if you're doing some kind of a cool composite with an element thing, this is just a dinosaur head, but whatever. We'll just use this as the example. A lot of the time, you may want a composite fog that's in front of them or whatever. And we have on the show gone over how in Element you can go, down here, and instead of the full render, or you can go to output, and instead of the composite, you can say, do like a Z depth, and it'll sort of put out this. And now you've got another map that you can use or play with or whatever. Or my favorite, the world position map. So you can take a depth informed look at your image like this. You can turn up the feather amount of that. You can adjust the Z space so you can try to get a nice dynamic range of a depth map.
So moody. The moody presentation of that raptor.
And it's so cool, but I'm always doing this at the very end of my workflow because, beforehand you may be tinkering with all of the element pieces and you're sort of rendering what is your beauty pass or whatever. So I'm always saving this layer to be like the beauty, whatever, export the whole time. So it'll be the composite layer and it'll look all pretty or whatever. But then I realized, what if I opened the essential graphics panel. What if I knew where the essential graphic? There it is. And on my element layer, just twirl this down a little bit. And let's say for the output mode, I could drag the show category to this. And then I could go into a new composition, whatever, all by itself, then bring in this 3D head. Oops, not that one, this one. I thought it was that one. Oh, was I in the... I'm sorry, everyone. I was in that silly, not a real camera view. Give me a second. Let me add a real camera.
Not a real camera view.
It was on a real camera. Why did it not? 3D head. Oh, but I wasn't on the camera. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Okay. This went less smooth than I desired. Anyway, you could drag this little bit right here, what you're showing, up to Essential Graphics, and that way, if you drag this into another comp and you twirl this down, you can now, assuming you do the right one. This went so, I thought I was going to do this so quick.
It is exciting.
It is exciting.
This is a good quick tip if it's
all right. So to re-summarize, if you drag what you're rendering in Element up to an Essential Graphics panel, now if you put this comp somewhere else and open up Essential Properties, you can have the composite, the Z-depth, the world position. And now if I make a copy of this, I can make this one, I'll switch this to the composite, and then now I have a great depth mat, and because it's basically pre-collapsed, now I can go in here and do all of the exciting tricks that we were doing last week. Like I could extract all the bright values from this map and all the dark values and just leave the gray and get this cool like 3D thing. Maybe I could animate it like this. Look at this. Animate this all the way along the raptor, like a little like 3D, I don't know. Look at that. Woo. And use the depth layer right here with 2 copies. And if you ever need to change your element, you just go back to the original comp, and that's where you add all your different props and everything. And you can add so many other properties. Like you can put all the properties of where the world position map is and what the feather is just by dragging these all up to the Essential Graphics panel. That way you have control over them once you get to your final comp. And so I can say, I want this to look like that, but I also want to still have control over where in Z it's showing up.
And I mean, like every use of the Essential not every use, but like a lot of the uses of the Essential Graphics panel, it gives you control in the context of the main comp to do stuff, and you don't have to have multiple copies of your element layer. Then you have to, if someone says, oh, I need to change the lighting or we need to change the angle, you don't have to go into every single one of the element layers to change stuff. All you got to do is change it in the one pre-comp, and that change ripples up through all of the other comps. It's fantastic.
So great.
Essential Graphics is so powerful. Not nearly enough people using it.
Yeah,
like
come
watch,
on, people.
Watch if I did a Luma inverted mat on this fog. Look at that. Beauty.
Oh, good God. Good God, that's a friggin' render. Look at that.
See? Isn't that great? And if I play with the contrast, I could like push like how far the nose is sticking out of there. Look at that. It's wonderful. And if I super comp these 2 layers together now,
oof,
got some blur going behind it. Look at that. I use that in all of my Gremlins trailer that we made, which I think we'll post to the channel separately, so you all can share that.
100% needs to be posted.
Let people know to watch VFX and Chill every week.
And be violated in similar ways.
Nick Smith from chat suggests we call this episode Jurassic Cruise.
What about
Jurassic Cruise?
Is there something with Fallout Kingdom? Is that a thing? Is that close a thing? Like Jurassic?
Jurassic Cruise, Fallout Kingdom.
Jurassic World, Fallout Kingdom.
Fallout Kingdom, Jurassic Cruise.
Jurassic Cruise Fallout Kingdom is great.
Go.
Excellent. And I know we're all the way to the end of the show, but I did promise that I would shout out one of our super fans, someone who has watched every single episode of VFX and Chill, my wonderful mother-in-law, Sarah. We love
you. Hooray.
Thank you for watching a show that often leads to follow-up texts of, I don't know what you're talking about, but you look like you're having a good time.
And you're right, Sarah. We are having a wonderful time. Thank you for watching.
It's a good show, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Everybody, thank you for coming and being on our show by being there watching it. Sure.
Absolutely. Hey, I mean, you saw at the top of the show what your suggestions can lead to. So engage with us during the show and online, because we're people pleasers and seek.
That's why you're so pleased right now.
Form of visual effects we do. So yeah, find us online and bug us about what you want to appear on the show.
Do it right now. And that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody we're supposed to thank, and bye.